Usiafo ya mwakwa wabasa rafta series so and that story is interesting. Efa awarifu bi ho. A rare story and it is very interesting. The best story we had you waiting from the start to end for you to make your own judgment. Now put you idea we see story no watch your comment section asking. It is very interesting and you will love it. If possible, a pepper corn drink be seen to tea nana or but who you knew once not subscribe, I best show subscribe. There's this guy ex formerly called Twitter, no this story but told app no so a rare story. A friend say Elliot. And this is how the story started. My wife is pregnant with another man's baby and now she wants to leave me. So that is the topic and as a title. My wife is pregnant with another man's baby and now she wants to leave me. Ne yere ne bema fufu bi nyam. Na ne yere no pese ujan eko bema fufu ne nchen. The whole story na fini be shase. For some background, this was shase. I got married years ago and my wife and I were happy, but issues started when several years passed and she was unable to get pregnant. We tried all we could and she went for several doctor's appointments to no avail. They kept saying she was fine, but yet she couldn't get pregnant. I am the only son of my parents, so of course everyone expects me to produce a child to continue our family legacy. My mom and sister started antagonizing my wife for this and I did my best to support her from their attacks, but with time I started getting fed up with her. I knew the issue wasn't for me because my ex-girlfriend had gotten pregnant and given birth to a baby boy for me 2 years before I met my wife. The only thing was that the baby died at 4 years and 6 months. My wife, however, had told me about the abortions she had in her university days. So I knew this was a repercussion of what she had done. I was considering taking my parents' advice and getting a second wife when something happened. We were in the middle of an argument one day and I told my wife if she hadn't been wayward and done what she did, her womb wouldn't be rejecting babies. She counterattacked and said I was talking smack and might be shooting blanks because for all she knows, the issue could be from me. I laughed in her face and called her silly because why did I have no problem impregnating my ex who was on birth control but couldn't get her, my wife, pregnant? Out of spite, I decided to get tested and went to the hospital. I couldn't wait to rub it in her face when I was proving right. Well, I was in for a surprise. Unfortunately, according to the doctors, I have some prostate issues which has rendered me sterile over time. It could have been avoided if it had been discovered earlier, but it has developed fully and so even though I could have sexual intercourse, I can't father a child. I was ashamed and didn't disclose this to my wife or anyone. Knowing the fault is for me, I stopped pressuring my wife and asked my mother to stop harassing her. I brought up the idea of adoption to my wife and told her I have decided it'd be best if we just got a child from an orphanage since we weren't seeing any signs of a child coming our way anytime soon. She agreed happily. Anyway, I came home a few weeks later to see my wife grinning from ear to ear. She rushed at me with a piece of paper and read it, and it said she was pregnant. My smile faded immediately. I realized that this woman had actually been cheating on me. Hey, Asemu. What's it? She asked me why I didn't seem happy about the pregnancy, and I immediately blew up at her and asked why she was trying to pin another man's pregnancy on me. Be about to say, Papa. The man feels it is when you're serious, we are just ordered to tell me, Obano, so to say, Combo baby, the action on Podeng to the Bema Beman. Beman also crap who's on Angas and won't to me. The Afina play serious case. She asked me what I was talking about, and I told her that baby couldn't be mine. She got angry and started shouting at me, telling me I was a horrible human being for saying that. She asked me why I had pressured her into getting pregnant, and now that God had finally done it for us, I was trying to accuse her of what she knows nothing about. You are baffling. That's what you're saying. This will be into a paper and no simple cry. I didn't get so the person is caught in there. Pass a kind of on kind of credit. And you say, no, I can't on TV that on no. I find that. That was when I dropped the bombshell on her that I am actually sterile and cannot father a child. The situation escalated from there. She started insulting me and calling me a bastard, all sorts of names, and asked how I could do this to her. She mentioned how I had pressured her for years when I knew I was the one at fault. I immediately corrected that and told her I had only just known for 4 months. She cried and told me it didn't matter because if I had actually told her the truth, she wouldn't have had the affair with the man because she had only started having that affair also 3 months ago. The man said 4 months near 4 months if you know say on class and on to me. The man the between us original abo juma de bat. Sperms na wom no entumi shoot mpoma enye den enye mo ba. Na oba no say guess all catch them no crampo no. 3 months near na me so sha say me twempena for echi. So we man 4, no so at so 1 month, say 3 months. Who is telling the truth? One e kind of one so dey try to. Oba say ka catch me a one nya do in papa no say me 3 months ya na me so sha say me twempena. What can them crampo and come here? I told her it doesn't excuse what she had done and that I would never forgive her. She looked at me amused and laughed. That was when she told me she didn't need my forgiveness. Or say, "Ban so nya boni bia." Na be man so be chenu on fan jena fan ho e so on kwampo nya ne to nya so bibia be che no. She said I had made the choice easier for her. The man had asked her to leave me and marry him, but she had been skeptical. She removed a wedding ring and threw it at me. Then she went upstairs to call him and pack some of her things to leave. I watched her leave without a word. She wanted to come back to take the rest of her things later on, but I refused her entry into the house and she told me she would see me in court. Because you mean to me fan child that then no say how me here so be better me something so am na ye simple am me. Be man am na 82 you no cramp no say nka me nja na me ware. Nti akoy say dia wan fofofo am mo parking ne ma yem to aso. I got a court summons in the mail the day before yesterday and a letter from her saying her lawyer would be in touch for the divorce proceedings. I have been in a state of shock ever since. I can't believe she would do this to me. And the worst part is, her family are aware and in support. How do I begin to pick up the pieces of my life? I know she doesn't deserve my forgiveness, but I want her back. I can't start over with someone else. Please advise me. Story in fact interesting. Oba be mama wa maware. Awo mba usafo ma pressure. Asha say be man like no na oba na ya adwen o shini nkran say be. Na echire ono so support na oba so no pe ne be mama ma kene ya oba nti say ja o na otu olusua no so. Yes aja omo kasa na na ko catch oba na say wo krampo no si so no university abortion awodo a wo ye. Nka wa anye sa nka say krampo anye mo wa wo. Oba na ku fie na ke kan. Oba ma oba no so ka say sisi kra krampo wo na efi. Me den say me briba nti be man so ke find them ko test dia ba be dey aba be chire oba na ma yi ni busu. Okọ hospital na doctor say oh e yen hwehwemu krampo no spends na ntumi nyim oba ntumi nyim oba. How no do hu say mpena twa first one twa say no di sia oba ko free on na wan. Akwala na oba na ka say ne ba no krampo no say obi ba no de be ma no. Akwala no krampo we sense amount akwala no wie. Oba so de ahye no ko den wan ka hwa nchire oba no. Me chire unya adwen saka so ke find them nkonko adopt akwala orphanage. No oba na jitum. Some weeks later be ma ni pio oba ya oba ni age ade on people bi ama no so hospital so no. No oba ma ni dem shin say urade. Omre kwa mi nimpa so mo se mi ntumi enwunyem oba. How? When I try to say, hey, just all this while for me. No, say, then okay, me, fa with it. They say, what could chaba? I say, Beno, we are Ben Quang to Chasso. Who see, no, would they say, what could chaba simple grass and me, maybe that. Nobody say, hey, me, my course with my match, and say, no cramming to me anymore. This I say, no, don't ban chassis. We only papa just what penny things. We only papa, we say, can't catch him in Tama. Something a tree and watching, coming watching. The pressure can't be watching. Me so 3 months and me share me. No be man say woman fan child da. Oba na say okran po me nya so bia be cheme. Wa man na simple no. Oba man na me na twempe na e wuchi no. So oba ware ntimi ja wa ko ware. Oba sesa na nyama. Oba be sesa na aka na be man say baby. Me kunu say baby. O man ba me sesa na aka no so na mi share ko to send divorce papers to see how here then. It's a fam. Very interesting. Before we try to cry, then we see a fast story. Personally, I think say usi so why na ye na enye bia when you go into a new relationship marriage and answer we are you say o pass ko fa ba nipa nsemi wa so do ko adaka mi mo na wakoko twom pena bi wakako ya abortion bi o be man so akonyi obi na wanje na o be man say mo shi amada na body ofofo you move from there afi na o ba no kaka say me krampum no JHS me ko ya abortion ni esen ko ya abortion na e de nti wo kan o be man so say we de anya hwe ma munya de nche afei no be sha sa akotwitwi receipt na be ma no nso we se me see so no mba pem me kura agyan na me pem ma wo ba chi na me sakrai asem nya ba pe na oba no se nso wasa se akrampo enyo nwa anka se wakasa wo ye mba asem me a me mama me hu nye nti a minim pa me pem ma ware mu so nsem wo mu hia ahwemu ware enko fa nsem ye si ye sa me no obi fa se otrim ko e de amosiri nti se o iso e ware na akwese wi asochine no epo no enko smooth ko ana yesi ntinam daija wo ku photography no bi a twi receipt oba no ko twi receipt ano so akotwe to out the doors no we ni so nsem wo mu hia so be kan o ware ahwemu ware ko twi na bi abo se ni ko so se wasama or sebi you be like oh, you're mature enough to put certain things you have told him or her behind and move on. Me the about to receipt aba. Same way cramp na office okuna na we need to waka chere. Go for am okun obedwem obi ahwe mo ba ko receipt. Hey papa yi. No so say no here. Hey mami, tin same way hu but as far be then na waka fam. And with this story about I trend war X formerly called Twitter na man for so actual margin. Enti amanfo adwen kire fa ho na won so kire wadwen ho. Anonymous said this is very very complicated. Let him Monday Shona say she did a bad thing by cheating on you. Just let her go. I know it is not easy, but that's the right thing to do. She is carrying another man's child now and they are together planning to get married. You can't stop them. As time goes on, you will be able to accept that. Billy Ben said the man's selfishness got overfed. He can't have his wife back and there is no need for him to get married, or does he want to be a headache to another woman with his sterility? Let him focus on making money, go for hookups, adopt children and live happy, set his life. Indija Mona say, my advice would be no, you can never forgive her but you want her back. It doesn't work like that. Go find real love. I say, what's the dream fan channel? I hope it's also baby. Oba, who also one fan channel. Into Oba Bede. Mambila guest said, no version of Nollywood story. 50 said, Soap Otilo. Now, Castro the Ghost said, go treat yourself first. Cosmic Palm said, you are a first class movie. So these are some of the adventure of Alpha story. Also, Chawadrin found. Let's show boom now. Since you want to subscribe to channel, subscribe to channel means you like, comment, and share the more.